And Phoebe Actier was a friend of my mother's, and she used to frequently come to. She was divorced, so she was free of encumbrances on most of the time, and she used to have most Sunday dinners with us, and she was highly political. She was as political as she was conservative. Not, she wasn't an activist, but she thoroughly believed in Bob Menzies and all that stuff, which already I was starting to doubt. So the idea that the meal was a place where you sat down and debated goes right back in my life. In the 1946 election, I actually handed out vote cards for a local Liberal. The local Liberal Member of Parliament, Harold Holt, who of course went on to become the only Prime Minister to leave office by going afloat. My father he was in the State Savings Bank, he got moved to Ballarat, and I went to the high school there. And it was a remarkably good school, and I formed friendships with two boys of my own age who were the sons of unionists and very active. And look, their fathers, that is, were very active in their respective unions. And I suspect one of them was, in fact, came from a communist family and the other one from a Catholic family. So they used to have great debates before me. You know, walk around the school grounds at lunchtime and they'd be debating and I would just be listening because I learned about a whole world that had been hidden from my middle class upbringing. In Auburn College you were constantly debating politics with others, and then I went out to teach, and that whole political landscape, as it were, disappeared, as you found people didn't talk politics. It was not done. Nevertheless, I was very involved in the union, by then in the unions. I think I joined in succession the VTU, the Victorian Secondary Teachers Association, twice each, and I'd resigned from each other by the time I resigned from the Education Department. So they were both highly political atmospheres, which you didn't need to join in if you didn't want to. The staff tended to be dominated by discussion of AFL football when they weren't talking about their classes or who was not too good in this room or whatever. At the end of during that time, I decided to stand for office, and I did actually have a political ambition. That's why when we came from the country, I bought a house on the seat of Melbourne so that I'd be eligible to stand. But meanwhile, I was becoming most disillusioned with politics, and I didn't stand, and the rest is history. It's more political and literary. I was a member of about 5 ALP committees and various other things going on around the town. And she told me if I didn't cut back a bit, she'd go around, phone me up and make an appointment to see me, because she did want to see me occasionally. Basically, I wrote a short essay on fashions the fashions in naming books, which in turn suggests the content of them. And that was just before the '58 elections. And Stephen Murray Smith wrote to me and said, "Are you the same person that submitted this paper that we've published?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "Well, you better come out to our party on New Year's Eve or round about New Year," which I did. There was a suburban backyard and front yard, probably the street outside, all crammed with people paying a shilling a ticket and using that ticket to buy a beer. Because they weren't allowed to sell it, but they weren't selling the beer, they were selling the tickets, which was a common thing then. All lawyers I've suggested this to explain to me, it wouldn't have stood up in court for anything. You were selling the beer, that was just your method of selling. But that's where I had a long talk with Stephen later in the party, and in the party as going on, not the Labor Party, and he asked me to join the Avalon team. And I gather I was the first well, I've since verified, but I was the first non-communist or non-ex-communist on their board. I coincided with Avalon's opening to the broader left, and it went on from there. I became a member of the editorial board, and then I got all the job of reviewing and accepting fiction for the magazine, which was a hard job because you had all these people his work was just bordering on excellence, but didn't quite get there, so he didn't want to inflict on that on his friends. I remember one bloke who every 3 months, almost as Overland came out, he submitted these short story to us. They were all realistic. They were all the same sort of story. They didn't fit together to make a novel or anything. He toiled away at doing this with great dedication. I don't think I've printed, certainly not by us, and I don't think by anyone else. We were first to publish, well, I thought we were going to be the first to publish Peter Carey. I got this magnificent book on called Crabs, which is largely set in a used car yard. So I put it aside with some eagerness, told Stephen we published it. By the time we got out, Meanjin, Westerly, Southern Review, I think, had all published it. So obviously what Peter had done was to write a whole bunch of short stories and then send them all out at once so that he could get a cumulative impact. It worked very well, but it means that I am not the first person to have published Peter Carey. Schooling, I came down to Melbourne. My wife and I looked around for suitable housing. We thought we were going to the inner city where it's nice and cheap. I think I had, it's been pounds, £1,000 in the bank, expecting to be able to pay a deposit on a 2,000 house in some of these inner suburbs where no one was interested in buying. The first couple of days of that search for a house were very disappointing, very depressing. Because the cheapest houses were about £2,000 deposit and £6,000 to purchase. All that sounds very little money now. Of course, it was. I think if I'd stayed at the Teachers' College, I would have eventually have been on a salary of $2,000 a year. Blacken Street I first knew was really most unattractive. You had to know where to take yourself to get to your card game or your coffee or whatever it was. But the special coffee was just thick china glasses or thick porcelain glasses, which they filled with red. So when you come and look at it, it just looks exactly the same as a coffee would when you come and taste it. I wouldn't say it was ever magnificent quality red, but there was always as much as you wanted. You wouldn't believe that when I was a university student I used to put on a coat and tie in order to go to classes. And not because I was eccentric, because that was if I'd been eccentric I probably would have dressed more like I am, but the average student was very middle class still, so we just wore ties and jackets without thinking about it.